When payday rolls around, it's finally time to reap the rewards of all your hard work. Now you can hit up that trendy new restaurant everyone's been talking about, or immediately purchase everything that's been lingering in your shopping cart. But right here is where you need to hit pause before you start spending your paycheck. These options might sound incredibly appealing, but they are the basic pitfalls that could lead you into a cycle of poverty. Hold off on spending your paycheck indiscriminately, and make sure you watch this video to the end. You're about to be introduced to some key points that will set you apart from others and help you grow your wealth. Here are 8 things you should do as soon as your paycheck hits your account. 1. Pay yourself first. Your paycheck has just landed in your checking account, and you're buzzing with excitement. But then, when you gather your thoughts, you realize you have to pay off your credit card debt, do your grocery shopping, and take care of a host of other responsibilities. Perhaps one of the things we like least about payday is this very reality, but we have to do what we must. Paying rent and bills is straightforward because you know the rest of the money is all yours. But one thing you shouldn't forget: you should pay yourself too. Start thinking about making a monthly deposit into your savings account as another bill to pay. I learned this concept from world-renowned billionaire Warren Buffett. Do not save what is left after spending. Instead, spend what is left after saving. He stresses that people should prioritize paying themselves first because it's all too easy to pay everyone else and forget about yourself. And I'm not just talking about bills here. To illustrate, you've paid your bills, so what's next? You've been very responsible, and now you think you deserve some fun. The next thing you know, you're spending all your money without setting anything aside for yourself. You work hard, you pay your bills, and then you have fun. But the key thing here is you should pay yourself first. This should be the first step you take when you get your paycheck.
So anything you do that invests in yourself, that's the best investment you can possibly make. And then I would follow my passion. I mean, whatever turns you on.
2. Save for emergencies. Right after you pay yourself, your next goal should be to establish a backup for emergencies. You may ask yourself, but I already paid myself. Why should I create an emergency fund again? Consider the money you set aside to pay yourself. I don't want you to think that's all your savings, because you know what happens. When an emergency hits, you are going to dip into that fund. If you've already spent all your disposable income, emergencies inevitably spring up. They can either be mild or severe, but nothing can stop them. Not you, not anyone. So you should be prepared for emergencies, so they don't catch you off guard. Unfortunately, bad things can happen to good people, and in those situations, it makes more sense to plan for the future rather than worrying. Therefore, I recommend you always be prepared for financial surprises beforehand. This way, you are never caught off guard. The second step you should take when you get your paycheck is to regularly save towards your emergency fund. As you take this step, clearly define what emergencies are. A new phone or vehicle upgrade isn't an emergency. However, when your car suddenly breaks down or you're forced to pay unexpected medical bills, that's when you have an emergency. In this case, I would calculate how much money I need to survive if I lost my source of income. I multiply this number by the amount needed to get by for 6 to 9 months and strive to save that amount. Remember, the emergency fund is not designed to make you money. It provides a safety net to protect your long-term savings and investments from unexpected short-term expenses. So, you should establish a solid foundation for your money before you start playing with it.
When I was 21, we went through Las Vegas, and I went in and I saw all these well-dressed people who had come 1,000 miles or so, and they'd come to do stupid things. And I looked around, and I thought, boy, am I going to get rich. You know, I mean, imagine going 1,000 miles to throw a bunch of dice where you know you're going to lose money over time if you keep doing it. Those people are making decisions in the stock market, and they set prices, and all you have to do is every now and then look at one and say, wait, that doesn't make any sense in terms of where it's selling.
3. Budget. before you rush to spend all your income, it's important to set a budget for yourself. I know, I can guess what you're thinking. Budgeting feels limiting and suffocating. But no, this is usually a result of a lack of understanding about budgeting or not doing budgeting correctly. Perhaps some parts of your budget are scarce, and that's why you feel uneasy about budgeting. I was like that too. My hair would stand on end when budgeting was mentioned. For me, budgeting represented scarcity, and that was my mindset. However, I discovered the real purpose and power of the budgeting process, and this was a turning point in my financial life. It doesn't mean you need to spend all your income at a high rate. The reason most people live paycheck to paycheck is due to this misconception. Just because you earn $3,000 a month doesn't mean you have to spend it all. Yes, I know this money is tempting for you, and you're right, you worked hard for it. And next month you'll get another paycheck. So what's the harm in spending it all right now, right? No, it's not like that. This is a trap, and it creates a constant life cycle from paycheck to paycheck. Budgeting shows you how to properly allocate your resources. When you create your budget and stick to it, you know how to run your income and how to arrange your expenses. The best part is that spending money doesn't create a feeling of guilt when it fits your budget. Therefore, make sure you create a budget when you get your paycheck. This way, you don't have to spend all your hard-earned income at once. 4. Pay your debt. Paying off debt might be one of the least enjoyable activities you do on payday. But you have to face reality. You can't escape repaying your debts. The best time to pay off your debt is the moment you get your salary. Yes, I know. You're thinking, why do I have to pay debts when I get paid? After all, I want to enjoy the money I worked and earned. I'm sure it's a question you're also asking yourself. But trust me, when you get your salary, you should pay off any debt and start saving immediately after. I'm talking about loans, late payments, and especially high-interest debts. You'll want to tackle your high-interest debts first, because the longer your repayment period, the higher your interest payment will be. After all, who wants to spend almost all their income on paying off debts? No one. When you get your salary, your debts should be at the top of your priority list. After all, you can't wait for your next salary while interest rates continue to rise rapidly. When you've paid off your debts, a heavy load is lifted off your shoulders. Also, according to my analysis, most of the people who watch my videos are still not subscribed. This is an unacceptable situation. You can change this by clicking on the subscribe button, so you'll never miss my new videos. Please like this video and share it with everyone who needs to be informed. Thank you. Now, back to our topic.
Well, you never want to owe money you can't pay. I'm basically against debt. I mean, I think the average individual will live a lot happier life if they avoid. They surely ought to avoid credit card debt. I mean, there's no reason in the world to pay 18% for money. I can't make money paying 18% for money. So why should people up and down the street, do that? So avoid debt. If you have savings, and it's a good idea to have them if you can have, just buy index funds and just buy them every month.
5. Invest 20% of your income. I know, this may not sound fun. After all, is this what you're going through all this hardship for? But I guarantee you, you'll be as happy as anyone who has made an investment. A lot of people don't do this. It's understandable because they've heard countless horror stories about investing, and you're sure your money will share the same fate. But let me tell you, overcome your fear of risk. No one can be successful without taking some kind of risk. After all, life itself is a risk. Warren Buffett says risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. The key here is to arm yourself with knowledge by doing the necessary research. A common belief of many people is that they always have time to start saving or investing. But remember, time is the only thing that is lost and can never be recovered. Don't delay investing because you think you need more money or you want to wait for the next payday. Start with the small amounts you have at hand now and watch how they grow over time. Of course, I'm not telling you to direct all your income to investment. For me, setting aside 20% of my income to increase my net worth was a wise decision. Of course, it should be at least 20% because you will have other expenses to look at. You can use this money to acquire assets that will provide you with additional income. These assets can be land, stocks, rental real estate, property, etc.
You're working in something where you're living off your paycheck from week to week. You want to have a little cash around, and you certainly don't want to have a credit card that's maxed out or anything like that. But if your house is paid off, if you don't have big living expenses, you got a portfolio of decent diversified businesses.
6. Create a spending plan. In addition to having a budget, you should also make a spending plan. This is something you need to determine when you receive your pay. Having a budget is one thing, sticking to it is another, and sticking tightly to your budget is a completely different dimension. This is where a spending plan comes in. Sometimes, sticking tightly to a budget can be difficult. Perhaps you will need to make adjustments in some areas or spend a bit more. Because some situations are inevitable, and you have no control over them. Even if you have a strict discipline in managing your income, you will still need a spending plan. Without a spending plan, even with the strictest budget, you may not realize where your hard-earned income is going. Maybe you are dreaming of some moves to be made in the near future for your income to increase. However, learning to manage what you currently have actually allows you to take control and make the best use of what's already there. You should clearly understand where your income is going and where you want it to go. This way, when your income increases, you'll be ready to manage it more effectively and achieve better results. If you think a spending plan is trivial, think about the moments when you immediately withdraw money from the ATM or run to the supermarket just to buy milk and eggs. Or maybe you remember the time you bought those shoes because they were on sale and you didn't want to miss out. All these situations occurred when your budget was in place. Do you now understand why you need a spending plan to track your expenses? These small expenses, if not controlled, can create a big hole in your income. So, track your expenses. 7. Keep some cash. Remember, cash is always king. If you're looking at me skeptically, take a look at the philosophy of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. This duo believes in the importance of always having some cash on hand. They recommend keeping cash not only for emergencies but also for opportunities. They mentioned that they have a cash reserve of at least $20 billion. That's a really noteworthy thought. If you're going to take anything away from this video, let it be that you should never underestimate the value of cash. We live in a nearly cashless society today, and that's not a bad thing. Because I also love the convenience of making card payments and living a cashless life. The comfort offered by online shopping gives me great pleasure. However, all these conveniences do not diminish the importance of having some cash on hand. When I get my salary, I enjoy carrying some cash with me. This keeps me in check regarding how much money I'll withdraw from my account. And most importantly, I don't have to constantly tap into my savings.
Probably $400 or $500.
$400 or $500
Something like that,
in
yeah.
cash.
Yeah.
Is that what you're always carrying?
I generally carry something like that.
In
yeah.
20?
8. Outsource. Remember, time is money, and instead of wasting time on routine tasks, you can engage in more valuable tasks by outsourcing these duties. For instance, you can outsource tasks like grocery shopping, laundry, cleaning, meal prepping. This allows you to save time that is valuable to you. You can use this time in more productive activities like meditating, going for a walk, or running. Perhaps you could use this time to create an additional source of income. Opportunities like freelancing, babysitting, creating a podcast, or a YouTube channel might be waiting for you. The possibilities are endless, and this is the 8th action you can take when you get your salary. Please share your thoughts in the comments section, and until the next video, take care. If you want to fix your financial situation and achieve financial freedom, I recommend you watch this video.